Stream is starting. The Captain Coder at the helm. Bean water is ready. Today we will learn a lot. He loves the questions, he loves to sing. Join our Discord and follow him.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you happen to be in the world. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me, and me is Captain Coder. And we have the whole crew with us here on this beautiful Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Let me get that face set up real quick. That face looks like it's slightly off. Hang on. Let's see if we get it there. I was doing my treadmilling. And so the camera needed to be a little bit different. But we got it there, folks. We're back in the frame. Captain Coder here. Lance, it's so nice to have you here on this beautiful day. It's so nice to have the whole crew with us on this beautiful day. Stygian, I'm so glad you got that exclamation point first. It's so nice to see you, buddy. Welcome back to the stream. Stygian, we love having you here. I hope you are just as happy to be here as I am that you are here. We also got the Clayman, the one, the only, the Clayman Dev. Devin with the clay and Clayin with the man. We love you, my friend. I'm so glad you're here. Clayman, what have you been up to? How is your project coming along? How is Epic Hero Game shaping out, turning up, being clommed together, perhaps? I know you were reworking a bunch of the physics stuff in there. I'm curious how things are coming along. Also, Nick, welcome back to the stream. How'd you fare today? I see you gave me your solution. I'm wondering, today I see the word parabolic reflector dish. I don't know if that means any kind of hints here. We did some reflection last time. I don't know. I don't know what this is going to entail, but we're going to find out today, and I don't know what level of difficulty we have. I try not to spoil it for myself. So, but I do look out of the corner of my eye, I see another grid. Could we be doing pathfinding today? Maybe some BFS, maybe some Dijkstra's, maybe some Warshall, Floyd Warshall algorithm. Who knows what we're gonna do? Nick says it was nice. I think I had my peak concurrent viewers of 8 today. Congratulations, Nick. Feel free to drop a link to your YouTube. I'm trying to get not if I'm happy we aren't. Smab, I love seeing your smiling face here in the chat. Smab, I'm so glad you're back today. I'm so glad you're here. I know you're super busy. It's great to see that you're able to get another puzzle done today. I love seeing it. We love to see it. Lance, welcome back. How's your game going, Lance? What are you up to today? Lance, how you doing, my friend? How is your game coming along? Nick, feel free to drop a link to your YouTube channel. I need to get you a command set up, my friend. I love promoting other developers who are streaming. Nick.yt, go check it out. We're almost to 1,000. Get them. Let's get Nick to 1,000, folks. Let's get Nick to 1,000, folks. All right, what? Did I update my wet command name? What are we doing? If I miss someone in the chat, don't hesitate to correct me. Mooniz, I'm glad you went hunting, got your bear so you can have some lunch, my friend. We're back today, day 14 of Advent of Code. If you're not familiar with what Advent of Code is, it is a wonderful series of puzzles. You can get on our leaderboard with us if you'd like. McNets, welcome back. It's nice to see you, my friend. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I'm so sad Pirate Software doesn't stream on Thursdays anymore, because I used to like to go in there and say, Happy Thursday, because Pirate Software, his name is Thor. His name is Thor, and he doesn't stream on Thursdays anymore, which makes me a little bit sad, because I can't say Happy Thursday. I suppose I could say Happy Thursday, but it wouldn't be Thursday. That's okay. But McNets, I'm glad you're here with us. What you been up to? How you doing, my friend? Advent of Code, for anyone who's new here, is an advent calendar that is the first 25 days of December. Our good friend Eric Wastel has been doing it for several years here in a row now. And you're stuck trying to find a patter, a pitter-patter? Or are you missing an N on the end of that word pattern? I believe that's Hussein, or Ha55 Ain. Hussein, have you met Hussein? They have followed me today. You know we love Hussein. You're here and I want to say thank you today. Oh yeah. Hussein, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. Happy to have you here on this beautiful day. No spoilers. Oh, I didn't even think that was a part of a spoiler, but now I know. Now I know we gotta find a pitter pattern. A Peter pattern, nameless coder. Nameless coder, what's your name? What's your name? I need to know. Nameless coder, tell me your name. Give it to me. Give it to me, nameless coder. I gotta know. What am I supposed to call you if you don't have a name? If you don't have a name, what am I supposed to call? Nameless coder, tell me that name. Give it to me. Give it to me. How you doing, buddy? Welcome back, an Invisible Cat. It's nice to see you, my friend. It's nice to see you on this beautiful day. It's so nice to have you all here. Wigbill. I'd like to say thank you for following Wigbill. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Wigbill, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. Look, folks, if you just guys keep clicking follow, I'll never be able to solve a puzzle. I appreciate it. If that's what you just want me to sing all day, just keep unfollow, refollow. Unfollow, refollow. That's what our friend Sigian does. Sigian, what's your next? Are you going to be the 3,000 follower as well? You're going to be number 3,000 as well? Sweet Rabbit says, you'd like today's problem. We're going to try. So far, I've liked them all. Have I disliked any of the puzzles? The only puzzle that I think I liked them all. I was just disappointed. I think it was day 9. Yeah, day 9 was just a little disappointing. I didn't understand what the challenge for part 2 was supposed to be. So disappointed that part 2 was just do part 1, but backwards. That was my only disappointment. I've enjoyed them all though. Figuring them out, solve them. Here we go, day 14. Are you guys ready? Here we go. Day 14, Parabolic Reflector Dish. You reached the place where all of the mirrors were pointing. A massive parabolic reflector dish attached to the side of another large mountain. The dish is made up of many small mirrors, but while the mirrors themselves are roughly in the shape of a parabolic reflector dish, each individual mirror seems to be pointing in slightly the wrong direction. If the dish is meant to focus light, all it's doing right now is sending it in a vague direction. This system must be what provides the energy for the lava. If you focus the reflector dish, maybe you can go where it's pointing and use the light to fix the lava production. Upon closer inspection, the individual mirrors each appear to be connected via an elaborate system of ropes and pulleys to a large metal platform below the dish. The platform is covered in large rocks of various shapes. Depending on their position, the weight of the rocks deforms the platform, and the shape of the platform controls which ropes move and ultimately the focus of the dish. In short, if you move the rocks, you can focus the dish. The platform even has a control panel on the side that lets you tilt it in one of 4 directions. The rounded rocks, O, will roll when the platform is tilted, while the cube-shaped rocks will stay in place. They're heavier. You note the position of all of the empty spaces and rocks. For example, alright, so we have a grid of rocks. This is where I need to have a grid class. I really should define a grid class. I haven't done that. And so I kind of defined one last time, but it wasn't a real grid class. It was kind of a shimmy sham. It's very specific to the problem. Dramulks with a lurk here and a lurk there. Here a lurk, there lurk, everywhere lurk, Dramel lurking there. Thank you for the lurk. Dramel, thank you for the lurk. All right. So we tilt the lever to the north. And so all of the rocks are going to go north. All these ones will roll north. And I imagine if you east, west, and south, they're going to roll around. You notice that the support beams along the north side of the platform are damaged. To ensure the platform does not collapse, you should calculate the total load on the north support beams. The amount of load caused by a single rounded rock is equal to the number of rows from the rock to the south edge of the platform, including the row the rock is on. Cube-shaped rocks don't contribute to the load, so the amount of load caused by each rock in each road is as follows. Total load is the sum of the load caused by all of the rounded rocks. In this example, the total load is 136. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I define extension around arrays with actually defining a grid. I need to get a grid. Decision will no longer be able to live normally if some random person becomes a 3,000 follower. What have I done? Yeah, Sidian, you're gonna have to stay on your toes. You have to stay on your toes. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while. Although this month, for some reason, I'm getting a lot of follows this month, which has been really cool. It's people loving the advent of code. That's really what I'm coming down to. I don't understand the amount of load caused by a single rounded rock is equal to the number of rows from the rock to the south edge. So my question is, do these rocks cause weight, or is it only the rocks that are actually lined up over there? I'm assuming these ones add in there too. We'll write a little test to figure it out. We'll have an input like this. So I'm gonna have a grid. How big is the grid? It's gonna be a big old grid, isn't it? Look at that big. It's in Portuguese, folks. Let's translate it to Portuguese. No, please don't. Oh, goodness. Okay, that could have been disastrous. Am I supposed to leave? I don't know which one of these to leave in. All right, we're going to do a wget on this. I'm going to have to, like, log in to get it. Oh, jeez. Don't remember, there's a ways to automate getting the input. I have to like log in. Never translate this site. There we go. Never translate this site. There we go. I was like, oh no, something terrible is about to happen. I'd have to like log in with a cookie from the command line or something. Or is there an API? I'm sure I could do it. I haven't done it before. All right. The grid is pretty big. It's not crazy. It's pretty big. I don't know that I can do anything super efficient for doing my rotations. So clearly the puzzle describes the thing as being able to tilt in all directions. In this particular version, we only tilt in one direction. So I'm assuming the next part of the puzzle is going to have us tilt it in some pattern and do it. It's a pretty big grid. It's a pretty big grid. Let's set up our project here. I want to validate what this 136 is saying. I think I'm doing 10. So this row here is worth a total of 50 points. This one would be worth 18 points. This one would be worth 24 points, etc. So I think that's what it's saying. The base class that does the input getting. Oh, thanks, Nick. Thanks for sharing that. I'm assuming I have to goes over how to link code. Nick, could you, let me just bookmark that. That could be useful. Bookmarked. All right, I'll be back. Helper code for making your advent of code life easier. Help me, help me, help me, help, 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 help. I need some code now, help. Not just any code now. All right, let's make directory 14. Maybe it is time to write a script for this. But maybe not. Really, I should, I want like a macro recorder that records the commands I type, saves them, and I can, I'm sure that has to exist, right? I'm sure there's a tool that records the commands you write and then turns it into a script for you. It has to exist. That'd be ridiculous if it didn't. .NET new XUnit. Well, I feel like, so on Linux there is, you could just go look at your like history. There's like a history, like a on Linux. There's a file that is bash history, I believe. And apparently this kind of exists here, but it's not for this particular instance. Yeah, Yeah, so on Linux, I would do this, and then I would just copy and paste. This is interesting that it has some of these things, but not the things I'm doing right now. Even though I'm in Get Bash. Interesting. All right, here we go. .NET add package shouldly version 4.2.1. If I do just history, root versus logged in user, that could be it. But those are commands that I've run. So if we look at this file, these are commands I ran yesterday from VS Code. These are commands I ran yesterday from VS Code. So I don't understand. I don't understand when they're doing it. Hi, Tentandon. Welcome back to the stream. What is up? We are doing day 14 Advent Code. We're on part 1. We're on part 1. Just on and all the commands and find replace to change the dir name. That's a good idea too. Does and wait for them to finish? Double ampersand waits for them to finish in order. I would put semicolons between them. We'll do part 2 is crazy. We'll find out. .NET add SLN add tests. 1 sec. Let's go into our test. We'll go .NET add reference implementation. I worked 2 days to teach AI and robotics, and I think we will do a satellite TV something. That sounds interesting, Corfless. Welcome back to the stream. I'm glad you've been out there educating the masses, teaching people how to AI, teaching people how to robots. Thank you for coming by, my friend. I hope you're having a beautiful day. What? Thindle, what? What, Thindle? Thindle, I love you. You are my favorite, did you know? Thindle, I love you, Thindle. You're amazing, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thindle, I love you, my friend. Folks, be sure to give Thindle some love. We love ourselves at Thindle. .NET developer, a C# programmer extraordinaire. Thank you for the doy. We also got, I saw someone else coming. G, thank you for being here, my friend. Got home, haven't done this one yet. Neither have I. What defragmentation? That's true love. It's true love. Thindle, it was meant to be, my friend. It's meant to be. And when you know, you know. All right, let's get our try to test. Oh, let's get a commit going. Git add, git commit. We are committing it. We just did a chore. The chore was set up day 14. Then we do a little push up. Then we get to work on the puzzle. And Kvadratisk says you have solved the pigeonhole principle right. What's the pigeonhole principle? You can get any 1 terabyte file down to 500 kilobytes easily. Look, if you don't, so look, it depends on how much you care about lossless or lossy compression. If you can do lossless compression, you can get anything down to any size you want. If you can do it, if you do lossy compression, you can compress anything to any size you want. How much you can recover it is another question. Your lookup table will be 1 terabyte. That's true. You got to distribute that around. I'm not familiar with pigeonhole principle. I just grabbed the first file. Exactly. Just randomly select 500 kilobytes from the file, and then you can use some interpolation to restore it. All right, so our unit test here. Unit test. Boom, 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 boom. This is gonna be our day 14 test. Kabadratisk, welcome back though. How is your project coming along? Correct me if I'm wrong, Kvadratisk, you're doing some kind of deobfuscation, or I can't quite remember exactly what you're doing, but some kind of obfuscation or deobfuscation of some code, if I remember correctly. Day 14 tests. Pigeonhole principle for n stuff with n-1 box. Guarantee at least 2 stuffs on a box. I bet if I looked it up, I would know what it is, but I don't off the top of my head. Test. Sample input part 1. Towak, thank you for your solution. Welcome back, Towak Fodi. Happy to have you here, my friend. Hope you had fun today. If you have 9 boxes and 10 pigeons, you need to have at least 1 box with 2 pigeons, hence the name. Okay. I mean, you could always eat. If you want, it depends on, are you trying to preserve the pigeons? If you're trying to preserve all the pigeons, that's true. That's true. If you don't need to preserve all the pigeons, well, what you do with the extra pigeon is up to you. All right, let's add a class here for day 14. Public class, day 14. Public static long part 1 string array input, like so. Return 0. And we're gonna take in our input here. Make sure I get, this is the original input. Public static read-only string array, string puzzle sample input equals triple. Give it the old triple. And then we'll do trim like this. Okay. All right. I feel like I should really define. Kovalaki, it's nice to see you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. It's nice to have you. Toax says, I find every challenge with 2D maps very enjoyable. I'm glad to hear it. Guys, you guys make me remind part 2, though, back in the NNTP downloading days, having magic files that you repair blocks. Yeah. I kind of thought yesterday's puzzle was going to be like that, because it was talking about, or the one, maybe not yesterday's puzzles, I think 2 days ago. I kind of thought when I was first reading it that day 12 was going to have us implement some kind of, a repair algorithm where it says, well, you have enough information to repair it to the full state, but that wasn't what we were doing with the parodies there. Okay. Should set up. It's true. All right, so we're gonna have our input here. I'm trying to follow. I think it's time to add an AOC helper in here. So the problem with this is now the whole way I do my setups here is annoying. Let's create a new file. I should have another project that I pull in. All right, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it yet. We're gonna trim though. We're gonna do a replace line endings. Is this right? Replace line endings. And then we'll do, this should be an array. And then we'll do dot split on environment dot new line, trim entries. Okay, we'll do that. I feel like I should really make this an AOC input, AOC input cleanser. All right, we're gonna do that. Public static AOC helpers, and we're gonna do a public static string array input splitter. This string input, and it's just gonna be this. Oh, not that. This. and it's going to be return input dot trim dot replace. Okay, so now I'll have a thing, and I'll put this in a bigger thing somewhere else. But now I have the trim replace line items, blah 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 blah. And so now I can do dot input splitter, or it just should be called split AOC input, like that. Okay, come up with a better name. I have an input helper that accepts either a single string, or an array of and outputs in just the way I like. Yeah, so there's different ways I like it. Sometimes I like it as a whole string. Sometimes this one I'm gonna want it as rows, I believe. Guten morning. Guten morning, Proton. Proton, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see ya. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, Proton. Folks, do you guys know Proton? Incredible streamer, incredible programmer, expert assembly developer, and creator of Kart King. This beautiful music you're hearing right there. Proton, how you been? What have you been up to, my friend? It's nice to see you. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for being here. One sec, I got a bunch of stuff. Forgot I got things flapping around, distracting me. I got my battle station over here. I don't have enough monitors, so I need an extra monitor over here. And I forgot to hit a pause on a video over here. I was getting distracted by seeing my past self. All right, so we're gonna split our AOC input, and now we can do day 14 dot part 1 of sample input dot should be, and then it said it should be 136. Okay. So something I want to do. Your extra monitor's broken. Bummer. I want to get a third monitor, but I've been holding out not getting one because of my intro. My intro screen is so cool. So my intro screen, if you guys haven't seen it, let me switch to studio mode here. My intro screen was done by the incredible ITC Studios. It's this thing. Look how beautiful this is. But it only has 2 monitors. This is what my desk looks like. I have 2 monitors in this intro, and I don't want to have to get this intro redone. I want it to be as accurate as possible. All right, exit studio mode. Back into the void we go. All right, here we go. I'm not a squirrel, Nick. How dare you? How dare you? I don't have a helper because of someone's solution. You can simply use the iterator. The fold regular accumulate the output makes having the helper more clunky. Yeah, so this is why split AOC. That's why I'm calling it split AOC input. I don't know if that is something I actually care about, but that's okay. All right, so we have 136 here. The thing, I want to figure out my count. Let's do a I want to say full sentences. I want to be able to say full sentences. All right. And we're going to do a rotate north. So I'm going to bring in a grid of inputs here. Let's create an enum. I really liked all right. Create an enum. Public, I'll leave it inside of here. Is that, no, I'll put it down here. Public enum. These are our cell types, right? So our cell types here are loose rock, stiff rock, and ground. A grid type. Someone help me with this, but I liked that if we did this, I could say rock, loose rock is the O. Stiff rock is the hash, and then let's go with rock type. Let's go with rock. We have loose rocks, stiff rocks, and no rock. All right, so these are our grid elements here. Our grid elements are these things. My loose and stiff, not words I associate with rocks normally, yeah, but this is a loose rock. It's a loose rock. This rock doesn't move, so it's a stiff rock. Alchemy, welcome back. It's been a while. How you been? How you doing? Alchemy, round and square. Quiet you. Quiet you. Why do you want to ruin my? You don't want me to be able to type in the word stiff over and over? Square, rock. No, I like that these have the same number of letters. Leave it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, everybody. We're doing okay. Alchemy, how the heck have you been? What have you been up to? I'm so glad you could join us on this beautiful Thursday. 1 second, folks. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry, I was gone so long. I'm back. Okay. I want to have we're gonna have a grid of these. Maybe I just do want it to be, maybe I don't actually care. I was just making some Unity game prototypes and testing out my Game Jam toolkit library I'm developing. Very cool. Very cool. Your Game Jam toolkit, I love the idea of that. It's your own personal Game Jam toolkit, or is it going to be something that other people get, but make it so you can like participate in Game Jams, have all the things that you do in Game Jams really quick, like things like sound controllers, menu setup, little basic things. That sounds like really cool. Make square root. Yeah, feel free to check it out. Send us a link. Yeah, very cool. Alchemy, thank you for sharing points. And Alchemy, 500. Alchemy, another thing, and it's not, I don't have it yet, but in January, I'm going to be doing a showcase. The third Saturday in January, we're going to do a community showcase. I'd love for you to come and show it off to the community. Join me on stream and we can take a look at it together. Let me bookmark this. Let me bookmark it. We're going to book it. It's the third Saturday. Let me double check, make sure that's true. It is going to be the 20th. The 20th. Community Showcase, January 20th. I haven't, I'll put a thing on the Discord. There will, at the start of the month, I will put a sign-up form in the Discord that you can sign up for. But yeah, January 20th. Okay. Do I really want to... I'm looking at this, and I want to get rows and columns. So there's an interesting thing when we're doing this rotation. There's this interesting thing when we're doing this rotation here. All right. So you want to, the way I'm gonna try and do it is you identify these groups here. Let's undo that one. There's going to be these groups here. So this is a group. This is a group. This is a group. This is a group. Depending on the direction you're going, this is a group. This is a group. And this line should come all the way down here. We have a group here. So we kind of can do something. I know my grid's big. I don't think it's so big that I can't just do like some kind of thing where I take all the things and shift them over, but I'm gonna try and be a little bit efficient here. So we have these groups like this that I want to, my data structure for my grid, I actually want to have, the rotation's gonna mess with me here. But these are our north-south groups here. So notice I'm kind of splitting on the hashtag. On the hashtags here. So these are my north-south groups. So when I shift north, I need to count the number of O's in here, and then I put O's in the top and then zeros in the bottom. And then my left-right group. So what I want to do is I want to have groups that are my north-south groups and my east-west groups. My north-south groups and my east-west groups. And then I have a set. I'm going to have a set here. So I can do a split here on these strings to collect these groups. These are sort of my groups here that I want to calculate. And I know it's a little bit weird to look at here, but this is my plan. This is my plan. So I'm gonna have a data structure here where I have a set of positions I care about for my north-south groups. Yeah. Okay. So this is my plan here. I'm gonna find each of these sets of groups. I'm going to have a set saying like where my loose rocks are. In this way, I actually don't even have to care about these things. I just know which position, what chunks my groups are. They'll know what positions on all my rocks. And when I do a rotation, I really just say, okay, find all the rocks in this group. They get shifted to the topmost position. So I think this is the plan here. Johnny Green, have you met Johnny? Johnny followed me today, you know, Johnny Green, I love you, I love you, I love you, thank you for following. Johnny Green 11, welcome to the stream, happy Thursday, thank you so much for the follow. Exactly, I don't care which one goes where, I just care about the number that it happens to be in that group at a moment, and then I fill up those slots. So I don't think I actually need this here. I'm gonna build up a parser though. So I'm gonna have a data type here, public. What are these called? What are these things called? Hang on. What are we calling this? This is like an array, dish. Yeah, we're gonna do a public, class, dish. Like this, so we have a dish. I think this will probably be better than doing it as I could leave it as a string. Raw data. So I could have a dish here that's raw data. Public record dish raw data like this. Goat meal, welcome back to the stream. Happy to have you here. I'm feeling like doing it as the sets will be a little bit easier. It might be harder to turn into and out of strings. But our raw data here, we'll get it in. This is going to be our raw data. I kind of want this thing. I'm thinking keeping it mutable is going to be important. I'm thinking too far ahead, maybe. We for this first part, all we care about is rotating to the north. All we care about is rotating to the north. So it's not that bad. String, this is our raw data here. So to rotate to the north, I can do a transposition here. I can do a transpose and then do like a split on the strings. So this is going to be our raw data here. Solved today without too much trouble. I'm glad to hear it. Goat, so nice to have you. How have you been? What have you been up to? All right, so public. I guess if we do this not in place, I'm doing wonderful, Pooh. Pooh, how are you doing, my friend? I'm doing absolutely wonderful this morning. We are working on the Advent Cove Day 14, and I think I have, for part one, I have part one feels like pretty straightforward. It's so immutable. I'm gonna make this thing immutable. We'll create a constructor here. Public dish string array config. And we'll have a private, doesn't really matter here. Public read only string array. If I'm gonna do it this way, I don't actually need this here. All right, so here we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. Let myself get crazy. Public, void, rotate, shift north. Okay, so we have a string array grid like this. So I want to transpose this thing. So shift north, what we do is we transpose, and I can do like this interesting string grouping thing here to do it. Glad you're doing well. I'm glad you're here, my friend. I'm glad you're getting some work done.
Boostak donated $5.
Holy
They
cannoli.
said because my day became better, so yours should become too.
It's so good. It's so good. I'm glad your day's doing better. Thank you so much for the donation, my friend. I appreciate that so much. Hearts to you, making my day wonderful right now. Thank you so much. It's so kind and unnecessary, but I'm so grateful for you, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it very much. You're amazing. Surprised there wasn't a little chat message that came through as well. Boostak, thank you so much. You just got reimbursed. When you say reimbursed, that's usually a good thing. Were you expecting more, Thindle? Okay, so let's do a transpose here. So if you transpose this, public static string transpose this string string array input. A transposition here. 1 second. I wrote this in the last day 13. You can just steal it here. Oh, that's fair. Yeah. Gotcha. I'm sorry to hear that. All right. Transpose looks like this. Transpose is going to look like this. I'm just looking here so we can do it. We can be slightly inefficient with it. List string new rows equals new. Thindle, I'm so sorry to hear that. I should probably refactor this, but this is such a straightforward way to do it. For int column equals 0, column less than a row. Input, not length, column plus plus, string, yeah, builder was new. For int row. Gotta focus real quick, people. Just bear with me. Could probably do this more efficiently. String builder. Type namespace could not be found. There we go. New rows dot add builder dot toString builder dot clear return new rows. Make this an enumerable of string. Enumerable string. Now we still have to get the length. Right, so I'm gonna do just this. I'm just gonna be lazy for now. Dot to array. We could optimize this later if we needed to. Goat meal, I care about you. I care about you. It's like putting salt in a wound. It's true. It's true. When you don't make more, when you spend, when you're not a profit, when you're not being profitable, that's rough. That's rough. I'm so sorry you got sick, Thindle. But I hope next year's better. I hope the rest of this year is better. But I love you, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all you do for us. Why not return the list and .to array? I think you might be behind, or maybe my stream is delayed. I'm not sure. I'm just seeing that here now. I care about all of you guys so much. I really do. You guys make my wonderful morning wonderful. You make my days more wonderful. We'll just do a quick transpose here. I believe this is a really simple transpose. There's some efficiencies here I could really do. But we're gonna do here, transposed is equal to grid.transpose. I'm gonna assume my transpose is correct here. And so what this has done is it's made it so that way I can do a split on my strings and shift everything over. So for each string a row in transposed. All right, so I'm doing this. I was gonna do this like using hash set and stuff, but I've taken this. What's happening now is, oops, I'm on the wrong screen. This here is now a row that is going like this. So it's going this way now. It's going this way now. So I can actually just do a split on my, each one is going that way. So all of my columns are now rows, and I can do this silly string thing to do it. Troy makes a new copy, so it just feels a bit unneeded, which is why I asked. I don't, to array does makes a new copy. You're saying to do it, why not return the list and to array? You're asking why I'm doing it? Because it's the type that I wanted. That's why I'm saying, like, this is highly inefficient. There's gonna be a much better way to do it. But that's, I'm not super concerned about the efficiency at this exact moment. It does make a copy. Anytime you see in C#, there's sort of the convention, if you see 2, it's actually creating a copy of anything. It's doing some sort of allocation. Is there an as span? So like there's some other stuff you do. If you have an as, it's doing a cast. All right. So we have this transposed. We'll do a row.split on our hashes. All right, so we have a row.split on our hashes. So now we have our groups here. So each one of these groups, so for example, in this row here, or this column that is now a row, we have groups like this. We have groups like this. And we need to just shift all of our O's to the right. And so we can actually do a count. All right, so I'm gonna do for each string group in groups, group dot count. CH is a hash. No, I can't do that. CH is a hash, and then this becomes a pad for us. So int is a circle. Hang on, I'm gonna do a smab thing. Public static public const loose rock. Public const char loose rock. Public const char stiff rock. Public const char no rock. Boom, smab. I'm learning. All right, so then instead of here, we're gonna split on our stiff rock. We're gonna group on our loose rock. This is gonna be our our loose rocks. And then we're gonna say that this string now, we're gonna build this string back up, and we're gonna end up with a new set of a string array, new new rows is going to be equal to transpose new string array transpose dot length like this, and then our new string group. This is our groups. Let me just do a list. String collected, shifted groups. Like this. Here. If you guys want me to see something, feel free to at me. Feel free to at me so it'll draw my attention to it. Hex Tree, welcome back to the stream. I hope you had a fun day. We're working on part 1 here. We're working on part 1 here. I think it's a cool. The part 1's pretty cool. My thought is the second one's gonna have us rotate it in some pattern that would be like impossible to do or very hard to do brute forcey, but I don't know yet. Yeah, Nick says you could also make a count extension for string that accepts a caret count, so you could count loose rock. It's true, I could do that. This was the first day I actually started AOC at the time the problem was released. Nice, nice. How'd you do? How'd you fare? I don't think I've ever done a problem the day at the moment it was released. All right, so we got a loose rock group.count. This is gonna be our shift here, and then we're gonna do a shifted groups.add, and this is gonna be our new string. We want to build a string that has 2 parts. All right, so we'll do string. Our left part is going dot pad left loose rocks. Is it pad left or pad right? One of these we gotta pad one of these directions. I'm not 100% sure which direction. And then it's gonna be loose rocks, and we're gonna pad with our loose rock. And then we pad that with our group dot length with our no rock. Okay, so this is gonna get us our shifted group. We're gonna add those together, and down here I'll make this a list again. So I don't have to. Some minor. Look, my garbage collector garbage collector gotta get some work in. Our garbage collector gotta get some work in. All right, so now our new rows is gonna be adding in our shifted group dot join or string dot join with our stiff rock and our shifted groups here. So this is gonna get us all our new rows like this. Yeah. So I did a transpose, which rotates all of them so that way they're So this is instead of doing the hash set thing I was going to do where I grouped them together. Now I can group them. Now I can group them by doing this split here. I was going to build the groups first and then do stuff with that, which I probably would feel better about. Yeah. And then we gotta transpose it back. We're gonna transpose it back. So new rows dot to array dot transpose. So we'll return that. String array. So we transpose it, we shift the stuff, and we transpose it. Which way did you rotate? Didn't catch that? I did a transpose. I didn't do a rotation. I did a transpose, so my rows become columns, and my columns become rows. So I guess technically this would be top left. Yeah, I didn't actually do a rotation. I did a transposition, which all of our columns. I don't think we actually have to do a rotate here. We just do a transpose, and we shift all the rocks one way, and then we transpose it back, and you'll end up with the same thing here. Does that make sense, Nick? And maybe I'm wrong. But in my mind, this is gonna work. Let's take a look at this real quick. just to see what shift north looks like. We'll do a fact public void test shift north. And so up is now left, so the second pad should be right then, not left as you have it. I'll trust you. I'll trust you. I was just gonna test this and see if I had it right and then fix it. but I'll trust you. I'll trust you. Pad left and pad right. I think we'll find out. We'll find out. Let's test it here. Okay. Only the second one matters. It's true. Only the second one does matter. You're correct. You're correct. Okay. So we have our inputs here. We'll do day 14 dot shift. What did I do here? Did I not make it static? Shift north on our sample inputs, and so this gave us back a string shifted. Let's do a string dot join with new lines on shifted, and actually let's do our environment dot new line, since we're consistent. The idea is to be consistent here. String new grid. And we should be this. New grid string expected is equal to trim boop 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 like this. Alchemy, it's my personal preference on that. For this one, I think var would be completely fine here. I use var when the type is complex and hard to write, and if the type on the right side is obvious. The type of this is not obvious. If I put var here, I have to go look at code. What type is shifted? If I just have this here and I don't have an ID, what is the type of shifted? Right? Someone's reading my code. What is the type of shifted? Yeah. So we're gonna go with that. I could do a enumerable.repeat to make the boulders, which you then pad. It's true. I could do that. Nick, that's not a bad idea. If I want to clean this up and use some more link stuff here, I could probably, I have a feeling for the next part, I'm not going to even want this, is really how I'm feeling. I feel like my data structure with building up the sets is actually going to be a little bit better. Yeah, that alchemy, that is my personal preference here for that. So we'll have this test here, shift north, and we're going to do new grid dot should be expected. So my guess is this is going to fail initially, and probably because of some, let's run this. Most likely because there is so line ending issues. Shift north works. Okay. Shift north works. All right, Nick, thank you so much for the help. Points. And thank you for catching my bug there. 50 points. Thank you very much for the help and the padding there. So apparently we got the shift, right? Now we need to count. We need a score here. Here, public static long score. What was this actually called? What is the score here? What are they calling it? Damage, total load. Calculate load. And this is going to be a string array of grid. And the load is more, the closer you are, the more it is. So, for int row equals 0, row less than grid dot length, row plus plus grid of row. We're gonna say dot count stiff rock. Okay, int base load, and then so this is our base load here. Then we need to int long total equals 0. Int long, sorry, just long. We'll count this here, and then the distance. So if we have 10 here, it's going to be long int multiplier is going to be equal to grid.length minus row. So for the top row, we subtract 0 all the way down, and then final total plus equals base load times multiplier. Okay, and we return total like this. So part 1 is shift north inputs, calculate load. I believe this is what we should get here. All right. Punked 20. Punked 20. Thank you for following me today. Oh, punked 20. Thank you, my friend. We've got punked 20 following me. Punked 20, thank you so much. Thank you for the follow, Punked 20. Hope you're having a beautiful Thursday, my friend. Sorry if I missed anything in the chat. Feel free to at me, folks. I see some beautiful conversations happening. Okay, let's run this test and see if my calculation was right. A voice of an angle. The voice of an angle. All right, should be, but was 86. So I had my calculation wrong. What is wrong with my calculation? Loose rock. There we go. Let's try that again. Passed. All right, we passed that time. So let's do it for our puzzle inputs. Okay. Public static read only string array puzzle input is equal to file.read all lines input.txt. Okay, so we're gonna read all lines. Honestly, I feel like I should do dot read all text dot split AOC input. I'm gonna try this. Because it should replace line endings and we split on our environment. Okay. Replace line endings. Replaces all new line sequences in the string with environment. A string whose contents match current string, but with all new line sequences replaced with, yeah. So it detects different types of line sequences. It's going to replace it properly. Okay, so we'll try that. We got to download our inputs. Input.text, boom. And let's copy this into our test folder. Boop, boop, doop, doop, boop, doop, boop. All right, and we'll test puzzle input, oops, test puzzle input, part 1. I think we're about, hopefully, I get ahead of myself. I think we're about to get, this is our first track. Are we gonna get it on the first try, folks? Will we have the correct answer on the first try? Only time will tell. 109,345. Boom! First try, popcorn. Hey, popcorn. Hey, popcorn. Welcome back to the stream. Popcorn, how you been, buddy? Have you been streaming? I feel like I see your notifications go off every now and then. I never am quite able to get there. Fedora Sword, thank you for the yay. And Smab, thank you for the star, folks, for being here with me. Points at all. 250 points for being here to see us solve part 1. Yeah, JD, welcome back to the stream. Fedora Sword dances with dirt. I'm so glad you're here with us. Dances with dirt. Whoa. I love you. Thank you for the whoa, Nick. Thank you for the whoa. Happy to be here, folks. Before we move on, we have a very important guest here in our midst. I have a very important guest in our midst. Do you guys know JD does dev? JD does it all. Not only JD, you got to change the name to JD does it all because JD does dev, JD does sex, JD does the impersonations. JD does it all, folks. Be sure to go check out JD, fantastic software engineer.
Like you're talking with Captain.
Talent streamer.
Let me see if I could do my Captain impression. I am not the Captain,
JD the impersonator.
But my eyebrows also move in a way like the Captain.
Thank you for being here, JD. I hope you're having a beautiful day. What have you been up to? BK, welcome back, my friend. Happy to have you here. We just finished part 1. How long have we been going? Going for an hour and 15 minutes. We're gonna take a break here. We're gonna pause. We're gonna take a break so that way I can just hopefully do all of part 2. Whoa, we're pulling this out here. Because I'm gonna turn off this. Let's go to my sources. We're no longer on part 1. Boop, boop. See, look at that void. Look at the void. Weird. There it goes. All right, so I'm not going to read part 2 yet. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to grab myself. I'm not out of bean water yet. Hang on. Now I'm out of bean water. We're gonna need to upgrade. We're gonna need to top off on our bean water. I'm gonna go with decaf. I'm not feeling tired today, so we're gonna go with decaf. Let's limit myself to 1 cup of caffeinated bean water today. Get myself a little bit more fresh water. Good. Oh, I saw you working on that last night, JD. Or maybe 2 nights ago. I can't remember. The facial recognition. I saw you doing this and like a dot showing up and getting smaller and bigger on your screen. Out of the corner of my eye, I kind of saw you doing it. I was working. I'm crazy busy right now. Last day of school this term is tomorrow. But we're going to pop off here for a second. We're going to go get some bean water. When we come back, we're going to do a little bit of a stretchy, get a little stretching in, and then we're going to do part 2, folks. So hang tight, get your friends, get your family, get your dog, get your horse, of course, get your frog on a log, get some stretches ready to go, because when we come back in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, when I get my coffee, we're going to get some stretches in. Then we're going to do part 2. That's right, Mr. Ed, get Mr. Ed, a horse, of course. We'll be back. Hang tight, don't go anywhere, the captain shall return. goat meal. Enjoy your break. Enjoy your time away. Hope to see you again real soon. Folks, the captain's back. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get in some stretches, folks. We're gonna get in some stretches. We're gonna do so you're gonna take care of yourselves. Look, the captain loves you, which means you should love you. And if you love you, you know what you gotta do? If you love you gotta love that body. If you love that body, you gotta take care of it. One way you can take care of that body.
You in
One
the
way
back.
you can
Pay attention.
Manaliki, pay attention. It's so nice to see you, my friend. It seems good. Seems good. Manaliki, thank you for the doy, JD. Look, we got to take care of ourselves. JD, you're gonna lead us on this one, JD. JD does stretches. JD does stretches.
Seems
Oh
good.
no, my Farron emote's not there. Hang on, folks. We got to go resubscribe to Farron. That means that my subscription has expired. Hang on, folks. We're gonna get that. But my seems good is missing. Hang on. We got this. Subscribe. Boom. Hang on. We got sus. Thank you for the sus, Poos Tech. All right. We're back in business. Business. Farron host. My seems good emotes. All right, folks. We're gonna get some stretches in. We're gonna take care of ourselves. We're gonna take care of ourselves. Do some stretches here. Get on up. Metaliki, how you been, my friend? It's so nice to have you back. We're gonna stretch out those forearms. Take those palms. Take those palms. We're gonna. It's coffee plus magic. Gets us going. I'm doing absolutely wonderful, Menaliki. Go ahead and take those palms, press them together, pull them down in front of you. And if you need to, push them back here. You're gonna get a stretch in that forearm. I'm doing absolutely fabulous. Any day I can wake up and code with the crew is a beautiful day. You can't be so hyper with just coffee. I know. It's coffee and joy. Gotta add a little bit of joy in there. Just sprinkle a little bit of joy in there. And then I inject. So here's the real secret. I take the coffee and I inject it directly into my eye. So I can see the future. Go ahead and let it go here. Roll those wrists out. Folks, please don't inject coffee into your eye. Please do not inject coffee into your eye. Don't do it. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't work that way. Roll those wrists out. Go and take that arm, put it up above your head. Take the flat of that palm, put it on your back. Take your palm, put it on the flat of your back. Oh no! You've seen the future, Alchemy. It's over. Get this nice stretch in here. We're gonna hold this. Do not inject coffee. Don't do it. It's bad for you. Thanks for writing it down, Psyduck. Just snort the coffee like a normal person. Look, I'm a big fan of sipping the coffee. What you guys don't realize, when you sip coffee, it goes directly into your lungs. Go ahead and let that down. I'm gonna switch to the other side here. I'm a tea person. Does it mean it will be joyless? No, tea is delicious too, my friend. I got this amazing Scottish tea. No, don't smoke the tea. Don't smoke the tea. You'll hurt your lungs. No, it's not that kind of tea. It's not that kind of tea. Stop. This is a PG-11 teen stream, folks. PG-11 teen. I don't know if we've done anything that's not PG-11 teen, but we try to keep it family friendly. Go ahead and let it down here. Let's get some shoulder rolls. Take those shoulders, roll them up, back, and down. Here we go, and back. 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Full arms. 2, 3, 4. Roll them forward. 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. What would make you think that, Alchemy? What could possibly make you think that? Full arms. 2, 3, 4. Check it out. I've never played a board game in my life. I ain't never played no board games. Never. Check it out, folks. We're doing a little bit of neck rolls here. Do a neck roll. Then we're gonna pop back in. This is Descent. This is first edition. That's the first edition of Descent. I wasn't a fan of the second edition. Unfortunately, I couldn't get into it. The first edition's just more epic. All right, neck rolls here. Head down. We're gonna roll our neck around. I usually don't do this one on stream because it just feels too good. Oh yeah. Does it feel good for you? It feels good for me. Let's go the other direction. Oh yeah. Last one. Oh, seems good. Oh, yeah. JD, I'm glad it's so nice for you, my friend. What is the epicness of it compared to Gloomhaven? Gloomhaven, I would say it's pretty similar. The original Descent. So the original Descent doesn't have like a big ongoing campaign. Every story, every adventure is self-contained, new story. I would play the way me and my friends would play it is you wouldn't be able to select a hero. You'd randomly get a hero at the start of each adventure. You'd randomly get abilities. Makes it a little bit more challenging. It's kind of player heavy as far as like winning goes, if you can just pick whatever you want. Then they came out with the Road to Legend expansion. So the Descent Road to Legend expansion makes it so that's an ongoing story. It's an ongoing story. So this is much closer to Gloomhaven. The reason I think people didn't like Descent, or Descent started not being super profitable, I think, is because the game takes like 8 hours to play, 8 to 10 hours to play a single level of it. This one, they shortened them. So this is still pretty good, but the adventures are less epic. It's like 2 to 3 hours per session with this expansion, but you have like a lot more of them. In the original version, my friends and I would sit down and we'd play 6. It was not uncommon for it to take 8 hours to play one session. Yeah, the Lord of the Rings, it's sealed. I have a sealed version of it. Okay, folks, it's enough chatting. It's not enough chatting. There's never enough chatting, but thank you for asking. I do love me a good board game. We're gonna hop back in. We're gonna do part 2 now. I don't know that it's worth that much. It's sealed. I'm not a big fan of Risk, but I got that for my 18th birthday. I've played it. I got it for my 18th birthday. Lord of the Rings Trilogy Edition Risk. It's not worth that much. $100. $100. So not really. It's not that good of a game. Risk isn't that good of a game. Is really what it comes down to. That's really what it comes down to. Let's continue to part 2. Plenty in sentimental value. Yeah, I remember the person that gave it to me. They gave it to me on my 18th birthday. So we were at a Hooters, and she gave it to me, and I enjoyed it greatly. Part 2. Risk isn't bad. So Risk is a zero-sum game, and so every move you make is leaves you you're always in a worse position no matter what you do, and it just drives me crazy. No matter what you do on your turn, you're in a worse position than you were previously, because the next turn, the way the cards come out, the next player is going to get more. Thanks, Nick. This is a PG-11 teen stream, but thank you for that. It's true though. My friend Danny. I like Risk if I don't want to play a more complex, long strategy board game. Quick 20-minute game works great. I repeated the H word and got blocked. It's okay. All right. The parabolic reflector dish deforms, but not in a way that focuses the beam. To do that, you'll need to move the rocks to the edge of the platform. Fortunately, a button on the side of the control panel labeled spin cycle. It's a laundry machine. It's a large spin cycle. Each cycle tilts the platform 4 times so that the rounded rocks roll north, west, north. They try and get you with this. North, then west, because normally you think northeast, southwest, or at least in my mind. North, west, south, and then east. After each tilt, that's a trap right there. After each tilt, the rounded rock rolls as far as they can before the platform tilts to the next direction. After one cycle, the platform will have finished rolling the rounded rocks in those 4 directions, in that order. Here's what happens in the example after each of the first few cycles. Okay. So I need to make sure my west, I need to rotate north, south, east, and west thing here. This process should work if you leave it running long enough, but you're still worried about the north support beam. I love, they're like, look, The north, we need to know if the north support beam can handle this. Let's just hammer it with rocks over and over. Let's do it 100 billion times. Survive the load. All right. So after this, 100 million, billion cycles, whatever, 1 billion cycles. After 100 billion cycles, 1 billion, whatever number this is, the total load of the north support beam is 64. What is the total load? Okay. I meant to put my number in here. There we go. All right. Let's write. Okay. So we're gonna do some I think we're gonna do some delegates. Shift. What's cool is I think I can use this code again. So we'll do a public static string shift south. All right, so shift south is this, but we change this to pad left. Okay, so I'm gonna write a helper method. Public static string shift. It's gonna take in a string grid. And then it's gonna take in it's gonna take in a padding function that is gonna pad it one direction or the other. And the padding function needs to take in a string. So it's be a func string padding function. It's a terrible name, padding function. So this is like north, east, south, west. And so it's going to be this, but our padding function like that. And north becomes shift grid of pad right. S goes to, I can't quite do that. I need to know the group length here. So I need to take in an L. Like this. So this becomes a string int, and then padding function becomes group.length like this. Okay. And I might define, I should define something a little bit better here. Okay. We can brute force it by lunch, friends. We can brute force it by lunch. Okay. And then, so our shift south becomes pad left, I believe. Let's run our test here. Let's see if we broke our shift north. And then we will run, we'll do a, I'm watching you. There we go. Let's try to shift south. And we'll eyeball it. Shift, we're going to eyeball it. Made one cycle function and called it a day. This is just making my brain be happier. It's gonna make my brain be happier. Because otherwise I have to do like some weird rotations. I just cheat a little bit with these transposes. Shift south. And this is gonna fail. And we're gonna eyeball it and then do our expected here. We'll eyeball this with a debugger. should be, but was. We're eyeballing it. Okay, this looks correct. All right, so if I look at my, everything sort of shifts down to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this looks correct to me. So our shift south looks correct. Off by 1 errors would be horrible. All right, so now our shift east and shift west. Our shift east and shift west. I'm gonna change this to shift. We need to know whether or not we need to do a transpose here. So we'll have a function from string array to string array, and this is going to be our transpose here. And instead of grid.transpose, we'll do a transpose like this. And down here, transpose like that. And so these become transpose. Hang on, it was grid.transpose. Why can't I access? Isn't this a string? String to string? Do I have to explicitly say AOC helpers.transpose? Okay. AOC helpers.transpose like that. Let's make sure our north-south continue to work. Keep in mind, this isn't doing anything in place, so it's going to be pretty slow. So we're not going to be able to do it 1 billion times, but we are going to do... There has to be a cycle, right? The only way to do this is if there is a cycle. If there is a cycle on it. So we can we'll figure out how long it takes before it starts repeating, and then we do a mod trick to fast forward to the end, essentially is what we do. Okay. I don't know that it's a valid assumption, but it's the thing that's gonna that kind of makes sense. This is the type of thing AOC does. There's always like there's no way the cycle cannot exist. Is that true? Is that true though? Is it possible? Look. Is that technically true? I would be interested to know if you could produce a proof that says, given an arbitrary input that looks like this, you will always end up with a cycle. That's fair. That's fair. A cycle within like a small number though. It always stabilizes. Yeah, I guess that's true. There's a finite number of states, but not within 1 billion always. Spura, there you go. There you go. So what is it, like hailstones? Hailstones. Hailstones. Stop. Problem. This is like the Collatz conjecture. This is a thing you'd always think it would stabilize, but there isn't. It doesn't. So. They're like, no one's been able to prove that this will... Oh, this is the opposite. This is the opposite one. It always ends up at 1. Never mind. This one always ends up at 1, but there's no proof to explain why. There's no proof to explain why it ends up at 1. This is a really cool problem. I have my students, when we learn about while loops, I have my students implement this problem. On my book, when we go to the while loops problems, while loops gauntlets, they have to implement, is it part of this challenge? Password checker, hailstone sequence. Yeah, so this one here is always, the students are always like fascinated by this problem. They go like, that's really cool. They learn about mod, but they do this in a while loop where they have the Collatz conjecture. We call it the hailstone problem, where they count it here. All right, so Joseph, the Captain Coder. Indeed it does. Indeed it does. Thank you for asking. Okay, so here we go. Joseph Captain. I like that. All right, so let's just make sure. All right, these still continue to pass. Excellent observation. All right, so public status shift east. Instead of transpose, we use what's called the identity function. Like this. Can I just do that? All right. Where we just pass this through northeast, shift west. My brain. What's happened? Oh, there it is. There it is. Shift west. Pad right, and this one I believe will be pad. No, this one's pad right. If we're shifting to these, this shouldn't be pad left. Pad left. Never eat shredded west. It's true. Never west shredded east. Never eat shredded wheat. I remember learning that in school. North, east, south, west. Never eat shredded wheat. That's hilarious. All right, we're gonna test each one of these. Shift east, and we'll eyeball it. Make sure it's going to the east side here. This should be down here. Well, I don't even need to do that. I can just run it and it'll fail, and I can copy and paste it. Thank you for lurking. Enjoy your break. Hi, Tendon. You're welcome back anytime. I hope you know that. This looks correct for east. Okay, copy. Pasta. All right, shifting to the east. And then the last one is shifting to the west. We'll eyeball it. Is there ever a professional context where that's fine? You know, the answer is definitely going to be yes. How to fight imposter syndrome. Oh, man. You guys have no idea. It's just a brutal thing in general, to fight imposter syndrome. Was there a given sample for 4 shifts? I don't think they give you. Oh, probably. No, they give you cycles. They give you examples after a full cycle, not the actual shift itself. So I could test on these cycles and then have to fiddle with it. But no, there isn't one for just shifting in one direction. There's just the shift to the north. Everybody kind of has it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm eyeballing it here. It's small enough to eyeball. I could manually do this, but this is so much easier to look at it and be like, okay, yeah, those are definitely shifted in the direction that I want it to be. So how do you deal with imposter syndrome? One of the best things you can do to deal with imposter syndrome, and I say this, here's what helped me. Here, I can't tell you this is the only way to do it, but this is what helped me. For me, folks, therapy is a big deal. If you're struggling with stuff, get someone who can professionally help you. I am not a substitute for professional therapist or psychologist, that sort of thing. But I will say that the Panda Planner, and I'm not sponsored, it's something I used for many years that really helped me get over some of I had a lot of self-hate. I had a lot of self-hate, believe it or not, for many, many years. And a lot of that comes from being so high intensity. I'm kind of you guys may or may not know, I'm a high intensity person, and I don't like to fail at things. And so there came a point in my life where I started having some challenges that I started and they sort of coalesced and, you know, compounded on each other. And I ran into a lot of trouble with my personal self, with self-doubt and self-hate. And the Panda Planner is something that I use that I honestly believe really helped me. And if you use it, you do a lot. Why don't they give us the pages? Show me the pages. How is anyone supposed to possibly get this? I should pull one out. I just don't know where I don't use it anymore. I have a different planner I use now. But the Panda Planner, it's insane here that they don't have the internals here. They don't want people copying it, I guess. Show me the picture. What is wrong with you? Okay, here we go. So you have things like, what are you grateful for? What are you excited about? What are your priorities? So you come in through here and you say, what are the things that I'm doing? So it's really nice. And at the end of the day, it has you do a review here. And so as you do these reviews, they really, really help you. I know, Dabber, that's what I should have done. Meme, Seko, welcome back to the stream as well. Nice to have you here. CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, the compassionate mind. Oh, yes. You got to learn to love yourself a little bit. It's okay to fail. It's okay to not be the best. Everyone has self-doubt sometimes, but this is great. I loved the Panda Planner. For me, it worked really well. But these, and I know it seems silly. I know it seems silly, especially if you're like a high performance person. It seems silly to give yourself like, oh, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. It really starts helping to hear yourself say these things. What are things that you're excited about? You can actually start getting excited about these things. What are your focuses? For me, the Panda Planner was a great deal. It worked for me. What I will say is keep trying new things. It wasn't the first thing that I tried. So I will say I tried many, many things. It was the first thing that worked for me. All right, so our north, east, south, and wests are working the way we want them to here. I hope that was helpful in some way. Don't have it. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. All right, so all right, so now we're gonna write a cycle method. Public static string cycle grid. So there's some crazy inefficiency here where it's doing a lot of string manipulation here. And this is where I thought if we're too slow, I'm gonna come back and write it with my initial thought where I'm building these hash sets of groups. I hope it helps. Yeah, so basically we're gonna do grid dot, so I guess we gotta do shift north grid. Can I do a function composition? So in Haskell I could do dot shift west dot shift south dot shift east. This is what I want. I want a thing that does this. All right, it does this, then that, then that, then that. I don't think we can do compose in this way. But it's shift north, shift west, shift south, shift east of grid. So one cycle is this. All right, so this is one cycle. Shift north, shift west, shift south, shift east. Is it so much? Look at all these then you have these leftover parentheses. So the other thing, topologist, is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you do it that way in Haskell, it automatically does some interesting thing where you actually get a new function because it has curry. It does currying on it. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. In Haskell, I could do this cycle equals shift north, shift west, shift south, shift east. This would be my definition in Haskell. Is it so much easier? Yes. Look at how much easier it is. it's like easier for my brain to read this. This is like awkward. It's just my personal preference. It's easier for my brain to read this, is all I'm gonna say. And then also the mathematical idea of function composition is pretty cool. Okay, so we have a function composition. One cycle here is this. Why are we shifting? Look, we being cheap grams. Sometimes you gotta be shifty. Someone with the name Cheap Grams. You know, I imagine sometimes you might be looking a little shifty. Maybe not. Look, I don't want to accuse anybody of anything ever, never, nowhere. But them shifty eyes. High percent C# is more powerful than Haskell, which is why the complication. No, I don't know if that's true. Probably if you guys really struggle with mental issues, look at trauma release exercise. Just go to YouTube. What I will say is, look, you know, it's good things get started, but finding someone, like getting actual help from a professional is the real thing. If you're really struggling with stuff, self-help books will only get you so far. All right, so we do a cycle, and let's validate our cycle here. So after one cycle, after two cycles, after three cycles. So let's write a test. Try to test fact. Public void test cycle. Sample. We'll do just a test cycle here. Okay. And we're gonna go through and do it. You're certified, Popcorn. You're certified. Certified in what? That's the real question. Certified in what? Okay. So if we do a day 14.cycle puzzle input, string array, one cycle, two cycles, three cycles. All right. And we'll do our assertions down here. Yeah. We want to copy this. Dot trim string expected 1. Yeah. Expected 2. I should really make cycle take, hang on. Public static string, cycle, string array, grid int count. Okay. And we will apply it that many times for int can I do this nicely in a for int ix equals 0, ix less than count, ix plus plus, grid equals cycle, grid, return grid. I'm just gonna do that. All right, and then we can do test cycle. One, 2, 3. There we go, like that. Monologue 3K. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. And good vibes. Welcome back. How you doing, Ben? It's nice to see you on this beautiful day. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome aboard. All right. Doesn't pronounce like it. I read it though. Oh, popcorn. Yeah. Look, PG-11 stream here. I got students. How you doing on this beautiful day? Manilo 3K. That's what it is. Manilo 3K. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it correctly or incorrectly. All right, then we'll do the last one. This is our expected 3. Were there any I did. We did delegates today. Look, we wrote some delegates today. Hyper, check them out. Check them out. Check it. North, east, south, west. We just swap in some stuff here. Manolo. Sorry. He just uses the cover for a list of activities. Look. I don't like all these accusations, folks. I don't like all these accusations. Boop. All right. And then we'll do one cycle string dot join environment dot new line dot should be expected 1. These should each be their own test. 2 expected 2. 3 cycles expected 3. Let's run a test. Let's check it out. Soy de España también. You're also from Spain. That's what it means. I am also from Spain. Okay. I don't know enough Spanish though, so be careful. My solo un poco. Only a little bit. That's all I know. Only a little bit. All right, we got an issue here. Oh boyo. Oh. I was like, that is way wrong. All right. There we go. Let's try again. Soybeans, and exactly. Yo soy beans. I am beans. Yo soy frijoles. Yo soy frijoles. Okay. Our cycle is working here. All right, so there's going to be a trick. There's going to be a trick here where we have to detect the cycles. In the above example, after 1 billion, let's copy this number. And people are saying it's 1 billion. Public const int cycles. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1 billion cycles. We can do that in an integer amount. Run it 1 billion times and you're done. You can join the spoiler spoof. Welcome back to the stream. In C#, yeah, it's true. It's true. To make it unreadable, you can do as much as you want. Sometimes you might represent your underscore as like cents. Usually, like you can put as many as you want in there. It's also good for. I like to do it when I'm doing hexadecimal value equals 0x. I like to do it when I'm doing stuff in hexadecimal or binary to keep track of groupings here. It's really nice in that way. So if you didn't know, you can write hexadecimal numbers like this. You can binary numbers like this, hexadecimal numbers like this. 1 0 0 1, because that will burn it. You know what happens if you start with I don't. What happens if I start with 0 1 0 5 4 3 8? Good enough for you, Smab? Yeah, mine is gonna be slow. So part 2, public static long part 2 string input. Let's write our test here for our sample input. Sample input. You put your sample in, you put your sample out. Sample input part 2 should be 64. Okay. We need to detect a cycle here, and and you shake it all about. That's right, you shake it all around. We are going to build up here. we have a hash set. I think it needs to be an array or a dictionary. We want to keep track of all of the states we've been in. We want to keep track of all of the states we've been in. But we need to know where we go back to in the state. So I think I want to do a dictionary from string to int. Is this right? A dictionary from string to int. This is going to tell us the position, the number of counts it took to get to this thing. Map. Is this right? Let me think about this. So, this is going to be our state. This is going to be how many cycles we have completed. The question is, as we're rotating, it's a full cycle. We care about the full cycle, I believe. There's a fear I have. Yeah, I think we care about the full cycle. All right, and then we start with, write a function, public static string, 2-key grid is going to be dot join grid. String, sorry. So our grid is going to like this. Do I need to add in the new lines? I'm just going to be safe here. Like this. Popcorn says, I can't remember the last time I needed an octoliteral. Yeah, I'm not sure. As long as there's subset whole input, I think I can do this. Oops. I accidentally closed day 14. I think I can do this here, and it shouldn't matter. No, I'm not going to clear my cache between iterations. Oh, sorry. I was like, why would I clear this? No, it's okay. I'm trying to watch here. Oh, gotcha. Oh, you're talking about day 12. Gotcha. Okay. So we start out by saying map of 2-key of our input is equal to 0. So this is our initial state. And we're going to say, well, we got to do a cycle. Int cycle count is equal to 0. While map dot do this. I'm gonna call this grid. Well, 2-key grid map dot. Well, it doesn't contain our grid here. So we need to keep doing cycles until we get back to our initial spot here. Okay. And so we're going to do a grid equals cycle of grid. Map 2-key of grid is equal to cycle count plus cycle count. You increase the cycle count by 1 first. So I could do cycle count plus and then cycle count. Just make it read a little bit better, but one time I like this. I like it here. And And when we get to this, we stop. Okay. I want to make sure my input will eventually stop here. My input will eventually stop here. So from my terminal, we're gonna put a day 2. Should be 64. All right, so now we need to determine the cycle, actually. Let's just make sure .NET test here. Let's make sure that it stops. Mizzard! Oh, you are correct. Mizzard, thank you, thank you. This is why I have no idea why I pass in all the tests. I'm in 13. Mizzard, so sorry about that. Thank you for giving the permission to Mizzard. Mizzard says the following. You are correct. You are correct. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We should do this. Okay. This is what we'll do. Okay. Mizzard, thank you for that catch. I would have hopefully discovered it right here. If I had it the other way, it would have been an infinite loop. Yeah, Mizzard, once you've been in chat here for, I think I have it set to an hour. Once you've been around for an hour, it'd be good. Ridge Raider, you got a golden kappa. Where'd you get your golden kappa today? All right, so we do finish there. Yeah, Spoof, my hash keys are crazy long. You could do, yeah, I don't know how to shorten this one up. Even with a binary encoding, they're gonna be crazy. They'll still be huge because they're not gonna fit in a long. Yeah, all right, so what I want to do, I want to make sure that this eventually exits for for the puzzle input. I just want to make sure that I exit that loop here. Ah, smab. Okay, so we are going to exit the loop eventually. So we do exit the loop eventually. So I'm happy with that. Ritter, I donated $1 so I could get the kappa. Pirate Software broke the Twitch limit yesterday for a hype train. Oh man, Pirate Software has been on fire, folks. Pirate Software is on fire. You know, someone asked me, I don't remember who asked me, someone asked me what I thought of Pirate Software. I think Thor's a great guy. I love that he's inspiring so many people to get doing game dev and stuff. Level 50, that's insane. Spoof, my initial thought was to store the groupings together, and then you could do something. You could reduce it greatly by storing. Oh, he already did. Never mind. Spoof is smarter than all of us already. So any attempts, Spoof's already thought of it all. I'm kidding, of course. All right, so we have our key here. So string key is, and there's optimizations here where I'm repeating my code here, of course. All right, so we're gonna get our key, and we're gonna say int cycles at, and then in our map of key here. So this is where the cycle starts. So it's gonna cycle there, and then we have to get the cycle count plus plus. This could be an off by one. Here. We want to do cycle. I don't know why it's doing if there. Cycle length is, I think, cycle count minus cycles at. This could be off by one, so we're gonna have to do some validation here to make sure this isn't off by one. And we have sort of, you know, int first chunk is equal to, oh, it should just be cycles at, right? So we go 0 all the way up to, first chunk is just cycles at, okay. We need to do a calculation here where it is our cycles, so like int short let me think here, int. So no need to store the orientation. Yeah, I'm not storing the orientation. Oh, you guys are helping spoof. Sorry. If you guys want me to, at me if you want me to be a little bit more involved here. All right, so this part's the part where I gotta focus a little bit. Cycles minus cycles at mod cycle length plus cycles at. I think this is our answer. If this is the answer, I got to do a little bit of thinking here. No, this isn't the result. And then this is where we need to stop here. This is sort of where we need to stop. And then I want to do, I need to save the original grid. String original equals grid dot to array. I need the original. This is, you know, cycle. This is the, you know, num cycles that is required. And then I can do a string, last grid is equal to cycle original num cycles, and then we'll do a calculate load on last grid. There's probably something better I could do here, but I think this is the total number of cycles that we have to do, and then I'll do a little bit of extra work here. I can't imagine I got this right on the first time, because modulus arithmetic is gonna botch me up a little bit. And then I'll have to draw it out. I think I'll have to draw it out here. I want to just test sample input. I feel like I should run this from the command. Oh, did I get it right the first time? This could be crazy. Folks, did I get it right on the first try? Did I do my modulus math correct the first time? Boom! I can't believe I got that on. I can't believe I felt for sure I was gonna have an off by one error. I felt like I was gonna have an off by one error for sure. So I'm really glad with this. Okay. Thank you. I was almost certain I was going to be off by one here. Yeah, I felt like I had to be off by one, but we did it. Smap, thank you for the stars. Thank you for the stars. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys for being here to witness this momentous occasion. Let's get a commit in here. Points, add all. 250 points. 250 points. Get status, get add, get commit, beat, implement, day 14, part 1 and 2. I forgot to commit the first part. There we go. Yeah, I was thinking I had to have an off by one, but I managed to. I had an off by zero. Yeah, making this the hash here is going to be, if you want to be a little bit more efficient. I'm surprised this is so generous speed wise. I really thought that's going to take longer to run. because I'm being so lazy with all my strings here. If I were to benchmark this, I'm sure it's terribly slow. I'm sure it's terribly slow. Is there something I can just add to my unit test to say to get the how much time it took to run? Does anyone know if there's just if I can just add a flag that will tell me how long it took to run? I guess I could put a timer. I think I was lucky the loop cycle is about 50. Benchmark.net has it, Popcorn. I can just add it to an XUnit test. I know benchmark, I can put I know I can do a benchmark if I had that in there. Yeah, Nick Chaps, this is awesome. I was just wondering if I could add it to a unit test and then get the allocations and stuff. But pretty happy with this. Pretty happy with this. All right, folks. All right, folks, let's take a look at your solutions. It's okay. It's okay. Look, you know who's not the prettiest? Have you seen my code? Have you seen my code? It is certainly not the prettiest of codes. I'm pretty happy with my result here, but there's leaves a lot to be desired. Also, just speaking of pretty, look at that. Look at that face. Look at that face. It's pretty painful. Ba-doomts. We need a ba-doomts button. We need a drum ba-doomts command. All right, let's take a look at SMABs. Let's take a look at SMABs here. SMAB CD SMAB admin of code 2023 solutions 2023 code day. We got to do a pull. Get status get reset hard. Get reset. Hang on. Get status. Get checkout. Apparently I modified. Get pull. There we go. What are you doing, Gits? Get reset. Why? I accidentally modified something. Can I get status? What do I do to just say ignore all of these files? I could untracked files. Is there a command that says delete all untracked files? Why do I have extra stuff in your project? Reset hard doesn't do it. These are untracked. Is there a way to say delete untracked files? Just blitz? Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we'll recheck out your prop. Here, this will be easier. Get smab. Here, I'll just pull your day 14 in here. All right, smab. Let's have a look. Last 6. Thank you for that. Get clean. I probably didn't need to just blast it. Be like, goodbye. All right, smab. Thank you for sharing your solution with us. Points, add. Do you like that I just deleted your repository and didn't reclone it? Was just like, screw it, I'm not gonna reclone it. Too much effort. Parabolic reflector dish. Here we go. Day 14. Part 1, part 2. Empty rounded cube. Solution 1. 2D array tilt. Spin 1 billion. Ooh, I should have done that. That would have been better. All right. Spin this dish. Let's take a look here. You still do your Saturday playtest sessions, popcorn. The next one's gonna be January 20th. January 20th. We're skipping it this month for Advent of Code. January 20th will be the next community showcase. I'll be posting more about it in January. But yeah, January 20th, the third Saturday of every month is typically when we do it. All right, so let's take a look here. Spun dish. So you're making a copy. This is sort of, I think, what I was doing. Dish here is a character or two-dimensional character array. First scene interval. Your spun dish. I love this. Spun dish is tilt. I like how this reads. Dish is just an alias for char, two-dimensional char array. Yep. If interval is 0, number of cycles here. Current state, if we get the current state that's seen, interval is equal to this. I plus equals, oh, this is smart. This is smart. We say, okay, well, we're just gonna increase by the number of cycles that we have left over. Yeah, spun dish, I like it. I like the spin dish, spun dish. I really like the naming here. This is the intelligent thing to do here. I really like what you've done here. When you say, okay, I'm just gonna do a for loop. That's the number of cycles. And as soon as I know where my interval is, I increase my I by the remaining number of things I need to do. And then my state's here. And then I'm gonna, because my I gets increased by the correct amount, I break out and I get my spun dish back. It loops through the whole range and cycle length. Yes. Yeah, so it's pretty nice here. I like this solution. And then we just end up with the state here. Couldn't be bothered to work out the last module, but to look up the state. Yeah, that's totally fine. I really like this. I really like this here. This is, so like mine, I was like, oh gosh, I gotta do this modulo stuff and hope I get it right. And I did. I got it right. All right, let's look at your spun. Your tilt. All right, northeast, southwest. For IX. Okay, so you're finding dish and bounds. For Y is their start Y. For X is our start X. Dish and bounds X, Y. I think you're finding the size in these dimensions. Is that correct? And then you're stepping through those chunks here. Why? Oh, so no, you're not stepping through chunks. You're either, depending on the iteration. Here we go. So this is our X start and Y start. It's based on the direction. Got it. So this determines which direction we need to go for our rows and our columns here. And then we're gonna look through it. Current tilted here. And then when you find that empty, you just pull the things through. Okay. This, not terrible. I like it. It's not bad. It makes sense. We find the rounded rock, we tilt the thing down, and we're just gonna pull those into those slots. So I like this. It's pretty good. We're getting nested, but it's okay. This is the type of thing that you have to iterate through. We can sort of just like the nesting here. I don't actually care. We did not review your solution yet. Hi, Tendon. You're 3 away. When we have loops where we're iterating over an array like this, I like to just be like, oh, we're gonna ignore this chunk here, and then really the internal loop here is this of finding the bounds and doing the tilt of actually pulling the things over. All right. To state. So you take a dish. This is just going to produce a string for us to look at of a dish. Calculate load. Easy peasy. Nice and short. Nice and simple. I really like this. SMAB. Really nice solution. All the logic's here, which makes sense. All the logic for tilting is in one spot. I like it. And you're doing what I did in the sense that I don't do it in place. And luckily, the project was fast enough that we didn't have to do it in place. Doing it in place is where you would save a couple CPU cycles. So my garbage collector hates me, is really what it comes down to. I really like this. I really like this here, your spin. Yeah, you're working on the FP, functional programming, no mutations. So I really like this a lot. Great work. Smab, thank you for sharing. Nick, let's take a look at yours. Points. Add Nick. Look, you gotta believe in me, folks. 500 points. Kavadra Tisk, it's fair. That's fair. My garbage collector. Look, my garbage collector's nice and strong because of me. Nice and strong. Thank you for the gist, Nick. Let's take a look here. Let's pull it in. Let's pull it in. Boom. Here, Smab. Great solution. I always love reading your code. It makes me feel happy. All right, let's take a look at Nick's solution here. Spoof. Sub 1 millisecond is just not feasible for a lot of them. I don't know that it's always going to be feasible. Just doing your best to optimize it is good, and say under 1 millisecond. And if not, then I spend time optimizing it. Not that you didn't spend optimizing before, but under 1 millisecond's a wild attempt. A wild attempt. Mine, look, under 1 second feels almost instant to me at this point. Okay, so we have our round rock, our square rock. We got a round rock here and a square rock there and an empty rock here. That's exactly what I said, Smab. Optimization by a computer. Which is better for game development, software engineering, or computer science? That's a good question. That's a good question. As a non, I do a little bit of game. That's not true. I've been doing a lot more game development. My background's in computer science. I can't speak to what a software engineering degree looks like. I think it's going to depend on your school. Nick has a good point. Experience is going to be the best for it. And that said, I don't know that. That's not true. I know several people that have gone into game development. But Scott, welcome back to the stream. Kai08, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you're here, my friend. My personal preference is for computer science because it is what I did. So I have a huge bias towards computer science. I'm a big math nerd. Computer science was super fun. I learned lots of things that helps me do stuff here, like Advent of Code. Software engineering is like a different skill set than computer science, but it's related in great ways. And I feel like, in my experience, the best software engineers I've seen tend to have a computer science background, not necessarily a degree, but a computer science background in algorithms and data structures. They don't necessarily have them all memorized and do this type of thing, but the thinking and problem solving skill set is there. Software engineering is like a pathway in most computer science programs from what I've seen. No, you don't need a formal education at all. Just because some people have it doesn't mean you need it. Experience is the best. Exactly. See, I always tell people game development is a skill set in and of its own. All right, let's take a look here at Nick's solution. We got our round rocks, got our square rocks. This is our hash set of round and square. Okay, so you're keeping track of your round and square rocks, and then you have your array. It's your raw map here. So this is our sparse map of rocks. We parse it in. We build up our maps, then we do part 1. Roll. This is our array of round rocks. We have a function that knows how to get the next position. Given a position, produce the next position, and then this here is going to let us get the end position. Okay, so this sort of looks like you are going to rotate counterclockwise, maybe. Oh no. Let's say here. This is a function that says, okay, this is a function that tells us which direction we're rolling. Given a position, what's the next position? So it's going to allow us to specify east, north, south, or west as a delegate. And then this is going to essentially say, given a position, can we move anymore? Can we move anymore? Okay. So these are delegates that are going to be passed in. And we say next rock, and then we're going to loop through the links here. Round rock, get next position of that round rock. If it contains it, we're going to remove this, and then we do a while here that just basically moves our rock until we get to the end position. Okay, so this is sort of like the tilt thing here. All right, so we have a target position, and then our up, down, left, and right. We pass in the delegates here for this. So we've defined, actually we're defining up as going in a direction. We're defining down. So that way we can do a roll here and we pass in up and we have our end positions. We have our rocks here. So roll north, roll east, roll south, roll west here. Order by, so you're doing some kind of sorting, then descend by to find that, but we roll in the specific direction. Okay, so you're ordering it by the positions in there. All right, so we sort row and column, row. So we sort this so that it processes in the order. Yeah, in the safe to process. So we go like left, right, or up and down, whichever way we need the rocks to fall in. Lil Naya, welcome back to the stream. And Kuhani, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Happy to have you here. Welcome aboard. Thank you for sharing your solutions. We are working on Advent of Code. The WAT Advent Code Day 14. We solved it, parts 1 and parts 2. We're looking at some solutions that other people have submitted to this. But yeah, if you want to check out Day 14, I should put a link in that there. But yeah, we build our map. All right, part 1, we roll north, and then we sum. Ooh, this is a nice. I like that. We sum it like this. Part 2, we keep a dictionary of the cycle, string to a cycle, and result. Okay. So result, you're actually, so you calculate this each time you go. A little bit extra work there. That's, I don't think you necessarily need that. Darth, welcome back. Darth Blackman, how you doing, buddy? Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a beautiful day. So we're gonna roll north, west, south, and east. This is our cycle here. We have our target iterations, and then we basically add our map, our cycle. So this is the map that we have in our current position. Our cycle is the number of cycles that we've done so far, and then the score for that. And then we're testing here. You can print it out so you can see the cycles. So we do this for our target iteration. If it's not in there, this is the case where we have found a cycle, and if repeats at -1, repeats at -1. Okay, so you are also breaking out of this loop here. Catch the first cycle, no need to repeat, and then we do some math to discover the pattern length and get part 2. Nice. Okay, gotcha. Not a nice, simple, straightforward approach here. Nice job, Nick. Thank you for sharing. Darth, look, of course I remember you. You're a valued member of this crew. Toak, we're gonna take a look at your solution next. Thank you for sharing it with us. Yeah, Nick, thank you for sharing your solution. It's nice to see. Let's check out Toak's solution here. Toak Fodi, thank you for your submission. All right, Toak Fodi points. Add Toak 500. Thank you for sharing your submission with us. Take a little looky poo here. Okay. We're gonna do it as a 2-dimensional character array. So we have a grid here. Parsing the data, we just loop through, build up our map. Calculate north load. Load per column. get the length, and then we iterate. So this is our load per column. We're going to go through each row and each column. If we find an O, we're going to increment our load. Otherwise, we sort of move around. Is this calculate north load? It looks like we... Are we doing some... Oh, this is kind of interesting. If move rocks. Move rocks will also shift all the rocks down at the same time as we're doing it. Is this what it looks like? Total load, load per column, total load map. I don't quite understand what move rocks is doing here. What's interesting is for the first part of this problem, I just realized for the first part of this, oh, we do have to do a shift. Never mind. This actually does shift them down and do the count at the same time. Okay, I understand now what this is doing. Okay. Move map north. We're gonna shimmy all the things to the north here. Shimmy all the things to the west here. South. Okay, so we have a loop here that just sort of builds it up and moves all the things down by their groupings. Move map east. Log map is just gonna, it looks like it's gonna print out a map for us, or at least build up a map that we can look at. Search for cycle. We have a list of char arrays. Oh, this is interesting. First is equal to our cycles here. At -1, we loop through, seeing if they match. Oh man, yeah, we do a little bit here. That's okay. We check if two grids are equal here, and then we can execute part 1. We just calculate the north load, and then for the next part, we're gonna move north, west, south, east, building up our cycles, and we search for the cycle. So this is an interesting thing here. In mine, I optimized this by using a dictionary so that I don't have to check all of the cycles we've done already. But basically, when we find a cycle here, we just increase it, and then we get to the end by calculating the north load and get our callback. Toak, thank you so much for sharing your solution. My one criticism is to, does this start at the end? This is searching through it. You figured it out how to make it O of N. We don't have to look through. In my solution, when you find the cycle, you just have it. We basically use a lot of space to do it. But yeah, this searching for a cycle does take n squared, because you have to look at every other cycle. If you're doing this way, where you're searching through all of your cycles as you go. A hash map's gonna... The construction of those strings is gnarly either way, though. But Toak, thank you for sharing. Hi-Ten Tandon, we're gonna take a look at yours. Part 1 only for now. Have you done part 2 yet, Hi-Ten Tandon? If you have, feel free to resubmit, but we're gonna take a look. And thank you for sharing your solution with us. You have a fun idea? I love fun ideas. Points and 500. Thank you for sharing your solution with us. Let's take a little peek here. We got about 30 minutes before I got to get going, so I think we'll have time. I got to speed run a little bit more. It's about complete. Yeah, no, cool. Let's take a look. Nice Rust solution. Off by 1. Ugh. I'm glad I didn't get an off by 1. I was worried about that. Calculate the load for the support beams. Takes in our map. Final lines, we collect the bytes and then we collect them together. Position map, calculate load. Oh, position map sweeper. I thought this was the whole thing. It blew my mind for a second. I was like, how does this even work? We sweep through all for each row. We're gonna +1 here, and then there's gonna be some kind of. Where's the multiplication? Oh, hang on. I'm not reading. I'm not going through this whole thing. Sweeper here. We're gonna come through this. We're gonna find our positions. We enumerate over and we map our rows, columns. index to a row here. This is finding, we're summing up map position, length here, and then we sum those up. Cool. Yeah, I'm seeing that now. You just are finding the row positions and then you sum up the, so yeah, you're mapping it to the row positions, summing those, and then we sum over them this way. So there's no multiplication for your sum because you're basically convert all of your spots into the row number and then you sum up all of those together. An interesting way to do it. Nice. This looks so cryptic. Is Rust like that or just a developer using short variable names? I think people in Rust like to use short-ish variable names. It reminds me of reading Haskell a little bit. And so this is a nice little solution for part 1. So yeah, nice little solution for part 1 here. This is a little, I think there's some optimization that can be done in this part here, but nice little solution. Thank you for sharing it with us, iTintandon. I appreciate it. Yeah, you can optimize that. It's not a big deal for for this part. It doesn't need to be. There doesn't need to be. Yeah, so I think this is a little bit hard to read in my mind, but not that bad for functional style stuff. All right, hex tree. We're gonna check it out. Hex tree probably did it in Python. Gotcha. Hex tree, thank you for sharing your solution with us. 500 points to you. Let's take a little look here. Let's take a little look here. Python solution. Folks, if you're not following Hex tree, you should also give Hex tree a follow. Excellent programmer. Excellent developer doing innovative code. Give them some love, folks. We love ourselves some Hex tree, folks. Look in your chat at the top. You're gonna want to click on this heart, make it green, give Hex tree some love. Okay, let's go to this next solution here in Python. Hex tree. We got our rocks, got our cubes. We build up our positions of cubes and rocks. Tilt, northeast, southwest. We have our compass here. Sorted list of rocks, key ordering. I'm curious what, oh, there it is. This is the ordering. I was looking for that. So we're gonna sort our list of rocks here, and then we're gonna have this is gonna determine the order that we do it. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Based on our eye position, I like that. That's really neat. Okay, so we calculate our next space by using our compass here. Compass is coming in. We're going to use that to do our ordering here. And we're going to look for empty space and fill in that space. If it's not a rock, we find the next space here. Hyperneutrino. I haven't seen Hyperneutrino. Is Hyperneutrino a streamer? Yeah, it's Hyperneutrino a streamer. He's on the leaderboard. He's like on the official leaderboard. Gotcha. Maybe I should look at. Maybe I should be looking at those. It sounds like my solution. I did a split on the hashes and used transpose to just like shimmy things left and right. Sweet radish. Okay. If it's not a rock, we remove it. We add it. So we go through and we take our rocks out and put them in the new positions. So we tilt it in a direction. Get a load. I almost wrote a solution like this. And I ended up just using the string arrays to do it. Yeah. So we're gonna get a load to sum it based on, yeah, this is what we're doing. We go through every IJ on our rocks, and we sum up their position in the row minus the size there. Okay. Print our grid counts. Yep, hash it in there. We got a board, we got our cache hits. We're gonna loop through, get our signature. This is getting our cache. This is our hash, so we can put it in our board. K is gonna be the number of steps we have to go there. We're gonna tilt north. We get part 1 here, okay. West, south, east, we do our range here. If we get a cache hit, we break. And the first time, so it's only if we've seen it a second time. So we actually are adding it in there multiple times. So if we get the second time we've seen it there, that's our cache hit. Okay. We find the period. This is where I did cycles at, start, and we find it. And then our board is to get load of the board at that key. Oh, that would have been smart. I could have done that. This is a nice solution. I really like hex tree solution here. So Python's a great language for these types of things. If I missed something, Sinfire, I didn't know if I said welcome, my friend, but I did see your message and I commented on it a little bit. But Sinfire, welcome back to the stream. I'm glad you're here with us. Let's take a look at Spoof. Spoof, is this the version you want me to look at? Spoof, doing it in a Rust solution. Points. Add Spoof. 500. Or do you got a new version you want us to look at? So I know you've been optimizing the heck out of things. But let's take a look at Spoof's Rust solution. If you have a new one, send it along. This one's correct. Okay. All right. Some more Rust. A hash map. A hash map. What is the A here? Is it like array-based hash map, something like that? Aha, shmap. Spoof the genius, indeed. Spoof, for sharing your solution with us. There's 500 points for you, my friend. We define our grid here. Let's take a little look. We're gonna parse our grid in, format grid, derive slide. Oh boy. Oh boy, it's a big one. It's a big one. Helper, grid, outer, inner, cell, slide. We pass it in here. Let me look at how we call helper. This is a hash map using aha. The slide function is ugly as heck. Yeah, I'm looking at this going, oh boy. This is, you know, how I've been looking at your solution so far, being like, oh, it makes me want to write some Rust. Make me want to write some Rust. And I'm looking at this going, ugh, I don't want to write Rust anymore. It's making me feel, it's crunchy. It's a little crunchy, but that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes you do the crunch and then you polish it. You make it a little jaggedy and then you polish the heck out of it. So I love your, but you're going for super fast solutions, which is awesome. Okay, so our slide takes a grid, outer, inner, cell, and then the slide here, I'm assuming this is a function you're passing in that can like specify which direction you're gonna slide to. So we have our slide here, you take in your grid. I'm assuming this slides like a row, it slides all your stuff along in a direction. So direction here, the direction we're going is going to determine our helper, which I believe is our slide. So we call helper, and then we specify a slide function. Without a hash, counts O's and slides them all to the start of the range. Gotcha. So it's building up the groupings and then just jamming them all at the end there a little bit. Also, Science Streams, welcome to the stream, my friend. I'm doing absolutely wonderful. How the heck are you, Balint? Balint, how you doing, buddy? It's nice to have you here on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday. Thank you so much last night for Whack-'em Wednesday. I lurked quite a bit. I was relaxing. I cooked myself some pasta sauce in my kitchen. It was so good. It was delicious. I'm doing absolutely wonderful. So these are the helpers. Oh, not the helpers. We are we're calling helper depending on the solution, depending on the direction, and then specifying these two things, which are going to be slightly different for each one. So this is how we're doing the slides and the groups together. So if we look back at our helper, it takes in two functions, sell and then slide. And then that gets determined by which direction we're going here. Does Rust provide HW? Did these change WH? Oh man, this feels so painful to the cognitive load here feels painful to me on this. And then spin cycle just does every direction. And then finally we go through and calculate the load. And then you do your spin cycle here. You find the remaining. So if we've seen it before, when we hit it in the cache, we plot the remaining here like this. And then we get the final remaining chunk of the cycles. And then we get the last little bit here. Get our total load down there. Woo! Woo! That's a lot of Rust. That's a lot of Rust. Spoof, thank you so much for sharing. Belint, I'm doing fabulous. I hope you're doing well, folks. If you guys don't know, Ant streams. Incredible streamer. Incredible human. Father and husband, I believe. They got the trio over there, Science. If you like science, then you'll love Science. Go check them out, folks. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. The slide clearly, yeah. The sliding code is crunchy. Sliding code is crunchy. I love to see if your final, if you continue to do a final approach there. Spura 83. This time I added comments. Let's take a look at Spura's solution. Here, another. No. This is a closure solution. Closure, beautiful. 54 lines of closure. Closure, functional programming. Spura, thank you so much for sharing with us. Spura 83 points and 500. Thank you for sharing your solution with us. Let's take a little look here. We get a hash map of our position, so we can look things up in there. Roll north. All right, roll north. Naturally goes row by row. We pull up each rock to the last supporting rock in the column, and then the rock becomes a new support. Okay, so we are going to do a fold, reduce key value. So this is a fold on a map, I'm assuming. It says it's a fold that lets us do it on a map, I believe. And then we pull support, returned. We keep pulling rocks in the north direction until there's something that supports it. Support appears to be ink support here. The key value. The XY to RC coordinate conversion got me in part 2. Gotcha, High 1010 done. All right, this is beautiful. So beautiful. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's a little bit tricky to understand that we're getting back key value pairs here. And so we're finding our row and our column. We get a new row and a column here. And so we have to shift things up. So we're doing that here. I really like this. I like seeing the higher order functions used like this, rather than having some kind of for loop that iterates over it. So this is really, really, I like it. I think it's nice. One cycle. We do roll north, roll and rotate here. Donnie, welcome back to the stream. Goat says, I haven't done any of the previous days this ASA, but I might do this challenge in Java just for fun. This one was really fun. I enjoyed it. One cycle, iterate, roll, and rotate. I want to see roll and rotate. Oh, we let roll and rotate. Hey, sorry. We're going to rotate our map counterclockwise and then roll north. So we just rotate counterclockwise, roll, and then we do this 4 times. Is that correct? This is rotating counterclockwise. It must be doing this here. So it's doing a composition where we do a rotation counterclockwise and then roll north and then roll and rotate here. So it's the opposite correction. Okay. So, but we're able to do this here 4 times. Calculating load, we do the sum here of the max row. So we find all the positions that have this O in it. Find all the things that have this O in it. And then we're going to increase by the distance to the edge of it here. And then we do a sum of all of those here. So we basically map each of our row and column positions that have a rock into a number, and then we sum them all up. If it's not a rock, we get a 0. So we don't sum anything that's not a rollable rock here. Part 1 is just roll north and then calculate the load. Find cycle of value. Again, we're going to do a reduce here. Find a value that repeats in the sequence and returns the prefix and length of the cycle. So we have a function that takes in the things that we've seen. I believe. So I to item here. And then we're going to loop through. Have a beautiful day, G. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow, my friend. Have a beautiful day. Scene item I is where we've been here, I believe. So we're going to build up our find the value that repeats in the sequence and returns the prefix and length of the cycle. If let I is the index. Okay. I is the index here. So this is how far into the cycle it is. Okay. And then part 2, we're going to iterate here until we find a cycle. Iterate 1 cycle, boards, iterate 1 cycle on our input. We're going to do a cycle. And then we're going to find our cycles here. And then we're going to 1 billion here. We're going to take our prefix here so we know how far it took to get there. And then the length of our cycle here. So we're going to mod that to get the total number of extra steps. And then our prefix here has to get added back in. And then nth boards. This ends up being a number, I believe, that says go in the number of boards that we found and then calculate that load. Nth here is taking in this as a number. Is that true? Okay. So this becomes an argument down here for nth boards, and it's going to pull out the board at that position, and then we can calculate the load on it. So this is like a bind, a monad bind. It's saying do this into this into this. So it's basically piping those things into each item forwardly. So in Haskell, I think this is sort of what bind does. Not quite what bind does, but it's saying do this thing and then pipe it forward, then pipe it forward. Nice solution, Spura. I love this makes me want to write in Clojure. I find this code beautiful. It's a little bit hard to follow if you're not used to all the parentheses and the styling here, but this makes me want to use Clojure a lot. And when I was in college, Clojure was a big fad at the time. Maybe it wasn't a fad, but a lot of I worked in a I worked in a group called I'm not going to spoil the name. I'm not going to dox the name here, but I worked with a research group that did functional programming or programming language research, and which resulted in a lot of people playing around with languages that were functional programming languages. All right, I believe this is another Rust solution here. Mizzard, thank you so much for submitting your solution here. Points, add Mizzard, 500 points to you, my friend. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Let's take a look at this another Rust solution for day 14. We got 7 minutes, so I got to rush here a little bit. We'll do Nineberry, Kuani, Spoof. We might not get to your solution here. I'm gonna do my best here to power through. I got to go in 6 minutes. 6 minutes. All right, run day 14. Let's find the important parts. Tilt north, find load. For the second part, tilt cycle. Remaining cycles here. We're gonna repeat until we find a cycle. Repeat loop input. Repeat equals loop. I don't understand where this ends. Match. Here we go. Here, match. Seeing the entry, we break and we get that value. So if we've seen it before, otherwise we insert it. Okay, so there's our loop. Our remaining cycles here is we keep track of the number of steps. So a billion steps, a billion plus the steps minus 2 times the number times the value we get back from repeat is interesting. This is a little bit different than the way I did. I subtracted it out and then step minus repeat here. We're gonna get the number of cycles and then we're gonna do a tilt cycle that many times and then find the load to the north. Mendoza, welcome back to the stream, my friend. It's nice to see you. And Donnie, I missed you. I think I missed you coming in. Donnie, welcome back as well. Donnie, oh Donnie, my Donnie, it's nice to have you here. Okay, nice little solution. Let's take a quick look at our tilt function. Tilt function is in slide. So you've defined a bunch of helpers. See, this is, I like this code here. We've defined helpers, this inline saying it's going to substitute it in. So this will end up not being a function call. It'll be inlined. I'm curious how inline works for big chunks. Hopefully this is aggressively inlines in a good way to where you don't have to, it ends up not being a function call. What we have is inside. So I believe this is going to find our groups. It's unnecessary there. What does, I'd be curious is what it does. It only matters across crate boundaries. Okay. So let's look at tilt north here. So you have explicitly written out tilt north, south, east, and west. But essentially you're going to go ahead and come in here. Your fixed row position here. If it's a rock, you're going to shimmy it up. And so you're going to shimmy all the stuff in a direction here. Same with south. I don't get mutant RXC. So is this saying find? It tries to inline, yeah. I don't see how this shimmies everything all the way up. Self.get, if it's an empty, if it's fixed, if it's a rock, this is finding. Is this finding? Mizzard, how does this work? How does this work? What is this function doing? I don't understand how it's shimmying everything as north as possible. Because we're doing just row position plus equals 1. We're calculating the number of row positions we can shimmy up to. Okay, so this is mutating the row position here. So this is the row position where we need to go to next. Got it. This finds the row position we need to go to next and it moves it to that row position. I understand. Okay. Keeps a track of the next position, pulls everything in there, and this says, okay, now our row position has to increase. If it's a fixed rocks, we have to increase. If it's empty, yeah. I really like this solution here. And then we're gonna do it different for each direction. Same process, but row going up, south, which direction, based on a direction. Really nice solution. Mizzard. I love it. I love it. Tilt cycle is easy. This is, no offense to anyone, I hope, but this is my favorite Rust solution so far. This is my favorite Rust solution so far. Mizzard, beautiful job. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. I loved it. I loved it. We got time, real quick. Nineberry. We gotta hustle. We gotta hustle. Nineberry, let's get this in here. I really like that one. Hi Tentando. All right. Nineberry, thank you so much for sharing. Boo boo. We got Nineberry. Welcome back, McNuts. Welcome back. Nice to have you here again. Let's take a look. Lo-Fi Craft. Making a server for my mod pack fans to get the game is called Lethal Company, and I make mod packs. I'm thinking about making myself mods for the game Instant Roblox. Lo-Fi Craft is a Roblox expert, from what I understand. For future stream, we need an actual top 10. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. Something I really want to do, Nick, is I want to, I love doing this stuff. I kind of want to have my own, not an advent of code, but maybe a monthly or a weekly puzzle that we do on stream, and everyone gets to solve it that week. And then on Saturday or something, we come together one day a week where we look at a puzzle. Maybe it's once a month where everyone gets to do a puzzle together, and maybe we could have people in the community write puzzles. ML210993. How did you get into streaming? I started streaming last year during Advent of Code. Advent of Code 2022 is when I started streaming. For anyone who doesn't know, we're gonna take a little bit of time here. I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me, and me is Captain Coder. I'm a computer science educator. I teach. My full-time job is teaching computer science and programming at a school for ages 10 to 14. I actually teach music there too. I do some music. And I started streaming because I was teaching a class called Intro to Competitive Programming. Intro to Competitive Programming. And I decided to stream myself solving all of the Advent of Code puzzles. I was going to stream for 25 days, have 25 videos for my students to watch and think through. And I was going to maybe have like key points that would go through in there. So I love teaching. That's how I got into streaming. I had so much fun doing it that I kept streaming after the fact. And now we're 1 year later. Let's see. Did I give points here to Nineberry? Yes, I did. Nineberry, thank you for your solution. Tilt grid here. Iterate spin cycle. A billion. Calculate the total. All right. So let's go look at our iterate spin cycle here. Dictionary. What I did here is same thing, where we have our scene grids. Everyone did this thing. I like that everyone else has done this thing here, where iterations to run did the smart thing where you break off the cycle. Once you found it, you just boom, break off the cycle. This one, we spin one more time, we get the grids, and we kind of find the results. So this looks like to be an in-place modification of the grid, which is fine. Spin cycle just does north, west, south, east. And then the actual tilt, oh yikes. It's not that bad, actually. Not that bad. We're gonna get, this is basically move rocks as far as possible. We need to figure out which one we do here. A lot less singing a year ago. Sorry, Spam. A little bit less singing last year for sure. I didn't start singing, I think, until February or March. People love it though, right? Smab. On a scale of 1 to hate it. I'm sorry. This was looking so good, and I saw this switch here. I'm not a big fan of switches, but that's okay. This is actually fine. This is fine to do here. We basically have tilted grid, northeast, southwest. I would have written this as 4 different functions, but this is totally fine too. Negative 99999. No, Smab. I think you misunderstood my scale from 1 to hate it. Negative 999 would mean that you absolutely adore my singing. ML says, seems interesting. From first glance, it seems that this is very much my type of content and something I can learn more about teaching streaming combination. It's been fun. 3Key Girl, it's been a while. It's nice to see you. And I also missed Unity Coder. Welcome back, my friend. It's nice to see you as well. 3Key Girl, it's been so long. How have you been? I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. In 4-5 ever. All right, and move rock as far as possible. We're just going to shimmy it all the way down when we find it. You're waiting for a new tune next year. Yeah, I do see that. Smab, I gotta find a new song. Not a bad solution here. Not a bad solution. Good one. That's a good one. That's a good joke. That's a good. It's not good one. Good WON. I should be at work now. We're gonna do one last look here, Kuani. We're gonna speed run here. Smab, we can do it. I should be at work. It's okay. It's all right. We're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, folks. We're gonna get through this together. Hang on. Hold on. Should I tell you what about the name Cheapgram? Skip it. Skip work. It's what the cool kids do. It's what the cool kids do. That's where that sketchy looks come from. Sketchy look. Just fine. I've seen 4,000 line function with multiple switch. Yeah, I've seen some gnarly code in my days. Look, I teach intro to programming. I've seen some gnarly code. Tilt north on the dish. It was called the dish, and then we load the dish to calculate the load. That is why the Captain stream is streaming Quadratisk. The name is Lethal Company Community Hub. The Lethal Company Community Hub. All right. So our part 2, we have a dictionary. N here. Everyone else is smarter than me. Everyone else is so much smarter than me. I wish I had seen that I could do this. The LCCH, the Lethal Company Community Hub. It doesn't roll off the tongue. But it's not terrible. Not everything has to roll off the tongue, and that's okay. All right, so once we find it, we stop, and then we do our tilt north here, and then we calculate the load. Slide. I like this. This looks like mine. The slide call, slide rows, and then slide here is just sliding in a specific direction on columns. So we have our comparison that's going to say which direction to slide. Mine, I was doing something kind of similar here, but using pad as a cheat. Slide rows, easy. Slide here is just going to find the index of this hash, pull it over, and pull things in here. I like it. Nice solution. Kuani. Points. Add Kuani 500 points. Thank you so much for sharing your solution with us. Spoof. I won't have time today. I gotta get to work. We gotta get going. We gotta get out of here. I gotta turn into a pumpkin, folks. Stop. It's pumpkin time. Let's find someone to raid. Let's see who's doing Advent of Code. Advent of Code here. I follow a lot of people, apparently. Steve Claus. All right. No one I know seems to be on doing it. This one's in German. Advent of Code and Bash. We're going to go check out Bad Cop. Bad Cop's been here before. Folks, give Bad Cop some love. You want to see some insanity? Guys, give Bad Cop some love. You got to give Bad Cop some love. Click that heart. How am I not following Bad Cop? That's insane. Look, that's insane. I don't know how I'm not following Bad Cop, folks, but give Bad Cop some love. We love ourselves some Bad Cop. All right, we're going to raid over to Bad Cop. Here we go. The most Church Bash anyone's ever seen. All right, folks, as always, remember to keep coding, keep growing, be the best you can be, and you are welcome back anytime. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. I'll see you tomorrow.